everyone, and welcome to episode 55 of the Video Games Ahoy podcast. Yay! My name is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Daf Gape.
Hello there.
And special guest this week, Hoi Weeks.
Hi.
Yay! Hi, it's awesome to see you. We were just saying before we started that I think the last time we saw you was The Last of Us 2. That might actually be the last time I spoke to you, which is crazy. We did that deep dive, which is crazy, like 10 months ago. But yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, it was June when it was released, wasn't it? How have I been?
Yeah,
I've been really good. I've weirdly when lockdown first happened, I didn't play that many video games actually, and then it's been more towards the past few months that I've been playing a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
Yeah, it's I think we've said this loads of times before. Like, it's been a saving grace for a lot of people. Like, definitely for me, like, playing video games has been awesome. But Davy G, how are you doing? How was your stream?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. We just played some Pokemon cards.
Some Pokemons.
Yeah.
Nice. Any?
Yeah.
I know you always talk about Pokemon cards, but I can't remember how to play it online. Is it the same online as it is like in real life, or is it like?
Yeah.
It is the
but
same.
quicker.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, so all good with your Pokies.
Yeah, mostly good.
Mostly good. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the old podcast before we
go
start
on
talking
then.
about the news? So if this is the first time that you are watching us or listening to us, then hello, we are Video Games Ahoy, and if you are back, then hey, how's it going? We put these episodes out every Friday, but we do these live every Thursday, which has been a lot of fun actually. I've been really enjoying the quiz. We will be doing a quiz at the end, maybe in about an hour's time, maybe even less. We will be doing a quiz soon. And if you want to check out these deliciously dreamy mugs of ours, then heading over to YouTube afterwards. Like I said, these will go online there. And if you want to listen to us, like I said, you can check us out on all those podcast places: Spotify, Amazon, all of them. There's all of them. There's more than that. Deezer, that's always a good one. And iHeartRadio, everyone's favorite, is there as well. Check us out on Discord. There's a link in the description. We've had a couple of people join recently, which has been really nice. It's always nice to have new people in there. And we'll talk about the Patreon page a little bit later on. And I've said this probably for the last 4 weeks, but I know we are due to do a Hall of Fame. We are well overdue. So, like I said, when we get the band back together, when everyone is able to do it, we'll probably do 2 back-to-back episodes. It'll actually be really cool. See what we do there. But yeah, we're desperately due one, and there's some other things I want to try and get in the works as well. But we'll talk about the Patreon page later. Shall we get into the news? Should we talk about a little bit of news?
Go on then.
I kind of want to start with a little bit of Nintendo mixed with Microsoft, because about three days
that feels
ago,
good.
I know, it's always great, isn't it? Nintendo and Microsoft. But about 3 days ago, there was an article on Screen Rant, which had redacted documents from the Epic versus Apple trial, which hints at the possibility of Xbox Game Pass coming to the Nintendo Switch. We've spoken about this so many times previously. We've spoken about the things that would stop it, usually on Nintendo's side, because they want to be able to control everything. But this is the first actual tangible bit of evidence that we've had that, at the very least, talks have taken place. So the documents specifically highlight the deposition of Vice President of Xbox Business Development, Lori Wright. Nintendo claimed these sections of the deposition reflect competitively sensitive information about negotiations between Nintendo and Microsoft. After a large redacted section, Wright responds to a question asking who was involved in ongoing discussions, presumably about some sort of negotiations in the removed portion, and Wright answered, primarily the Game Pass content team and other members of the gaming leadership team. There is no direct mention of Nintendo in the documents, but this is, like I said, it's the section's been redacted, and basically they've mentioned it's about Nintendo in general. Like I said, this is the first bit of evidence, I guess, that at least there's been conversations that have happened, because specifically she mentions the Game Pass content team, and obviously that they talk about the gaming leadership team as well, so I guess it could be more than that. But it does feel like the perfect get for Nintendo in many ways, because I know they've tried a lot of like streaming stuff. Like I think Hitman 3 is on Nintendo Switch streaming services. I don't know how good it
is. They started doing it in Japan. I think Resident Evil 7 was the first one.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey was another one, I think. I think it's like those massive games that are just like, there's just no hope.
Yeah.
But Dad, were you going to say anything else?
And I think I heard somewhere that part of the reasoning was that the Japanese gaming market are more willing to accept a slightly subpar experience in order to play the games they want to, which I think is quite funny. But whether that's true or not, just the idea that someone thinks that, even if it's not true. But yeah, so them bringing the streaming stuff over here, I know they did with Hitman 3, and I think they eventually did it with Resident Evil 7.
They did, yeah, they definitely did.
And yeah, if they do the xCloud Game Pass avenue, I mean, for starters, Nintendo's online is rubbish. So we'll see how that works. It's not great. It takes them 2 years to work out how to put Mario Party online.
But honestly, we still need to play that as
I know.
a gang. That is definitely a game we need to play together. But yeah,
absolutely, it's
not the best. It's really not the best. But then that kind of makes me feel like it would be really good for them if Microsoft was like, hey, we'll help you. We're like, if take account of the profits, but we'll put it on there and everything be done. But Dab, I think you said this before. I think it's that thing with Nintendo. They want to be able to control everything, and if as soon as you log on to Game Pass, everything is in Xbox's or Microsoft's world. There's nothing really they can do when we get there. But at the same time, I don't know. I would love to be able to play Halo on my Switch.
Oh,
can you imagine that? Like,
Hoi, you've got a Switch. Is there an Xbox game that you're thinking, I'd have that on the Switch? Or are you happy?
So I quite like the Switch for just really basic games, and I think that's what Nintendo does really well. I find that if people want to have Xbox games on the Switch, they would just get an Xbox and a Switch.
That's a good point, yeah.
That's
or a
just my
PC.
opinion.
Yeah, or a PC.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess like games like Cuphead or Ori and the Blind Forest that maybe would fit into that Switch niche, they're already on there.
Yeah. I guess for me it's like because they're like going out into like mobile phones and stuff. It does feel like that perfect thing. I've said before though, I mean, if Game Pass comes out on like Amazon Prime or something like that, where you can actually just literally play it on, some sort of streaming device, that is gonna sell so much more as well. Like that is gonna, like, so many people are gonna buy it specifically for that. I mean, I've said before, I'm gonna get the new console. I actually was so close to buying one like 2 days ago, but like because I think
Xbox.
Yeah, I found one because I follow. There's a Twitter account that I follow that basically tells you whenever the one is available in the UK, and it was one where with what's it called, smart delivery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I could pay like £30 a month, but I was like, I'm literally
Xbox All Access.
All Access. What's smart delivery? Which one's that?
Smart delivery is where you buy a game on any Xbox device and it puts the right one for whichever you're on.
That's what it is.
So whether it's PC or Series X, Series S, or Xbox One.
It's still very smart though to be able to pay only £30 a month and get a Game Pass and an Xbox. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think this is something that is. I think this is way. I don't know how likely it is, but reading this and seeing that there's actually been actual conversations and it's come up. I mean, we've said this previously, but the Epic versus Apple trial is absolutely bonkers.
Something else that came out of the trial.
Go for it.
I can't remember if it was Apple or Epic, but there's an email from one of them talking about, we should talk to Nintendo about getting their games on our system, our system, or on Epic.
It was Epic. Yeah,
getting them on Epic Game Store, and they were like, talking to Nintendo about that is a non-starter. Don't bother.
Yeah.
Like, you can imagine them just hanging up the phone and going, what are you doing? Why are you calling Nintendo? Wasting my time.
Yeah, like it is. I mean, because realistically, it is the only thing that kind of keeps Nintendo going, really, having those first-party games. If those first-party games started going on other consoles, like, then a lot of people would be like, well, why do I bother getting a Switch? But,
Yeah, and they've got no reason to think that it's not going to. I mean, how many have they sold now? 85 million Switches in 4 years?
Yeah, which, I mean, that's just bonkers. That is just bonkers. But yeah, let's move on. So this is actually another Nintendo topic, but this is slightly, I'd like to get both of your opinion on this, because I don't know how I feel, but I think it's not very cool. Anyway, I'll just read out what I've got. So basically, this is from Nintendo, and this is about Skyward Sword, and this is the new Zelda and Loftwing amiibo, which will be released on July 16th to accompany the launch of the game, which is absolutely fine. So basically, it features the...
Is it fine?
We'll get on to why it may not be fine. So it's got Zelda and the Loftwing, and it's got the two characters in the single base, and it looks really beautiful. It looks really lovely, actually. And basically, the problem they've got is with the amiibo, because I've got a couple of amiibos. I've managed to get a couple of cheap ones, and like they are really cool, especially like Breath of the Wild. Where like if you have the Twilight Princess one down, you can summon Link, like the wolf version of Link, which is so cool, and it just follows you around for ages. But with this, they actually adds in something which the game desperately needs, and you can only use it if you buy the amiibo, which is like the issue with Skyward Sword. And again, this is a game that's 10 years old, so it has a lot of those, like... I'll talk about Mass Effect later, and that has a lot of things that are that old. But basically, the only way to get from, like, the ground up to Skyloft is by going to a save point, and they're fairly easy to get, but nowadays, you expect to be able to just go, I want to travel here, and just be able to go. But they're locking that behind the amiibo, so basically saying the only way you can access this quality of life edition is by buying the amiibo. And the problem is that Skyward Sword is not loved as a game anyway, and this might actually put people off because they're like, well, no, why would I buy this? Should just be added in. You added so many quality of life things to the Wind Waker and to Twilight Princess, and this one you're charging $60 for, and then saying you have to buy this other thing which costs $25 on top to get this quality of life edition. But yeah, I guess as a general thing, I was going to ask you both really just like how you feel about that as a concept, because that seems like a slippery slope to me. Just like adding quality of life things for a game that's 10 years old and going, you can only have this if you buy this extra thing which costs almost half as much as the game.
If anything, I think that if anything, that should come as part of the game if you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be like a separate thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how popular those are actually. I've never used them. I've never really looked into them.
But yeah, it's weird because they usually only they're about £15. Some of them are about £15-20, but this one's actually more expensive than the average one, which is $25 or $25 I think it was as well.
And I think they are quite popular because, well, I say that. What I mean is they sell out.
Yes.
But they don't make that many.
Yeah,
they are. There's that the demand is higher than the supply.
Yeah.
But it basically an amiibo is basically a microtransaction where you get a toy as well.
Yeah.
If you're buying them just for the toys, then the models, I guess, then sure, cool. And I guess you're like, oh, look, there's these models, and with these models, you get a little thing. And if it's like a little costume in a thing, or a little, you get a couple extra hearts, it's like, it's harmless. But and it is a single player game, so to a degree, it is still harmless. But the fact that it's a port and it is 10 years old, like you say, Johnny, like it's like this is a thing that a lot of other companies would just put in the game.
Yeah.
But the Wizard of Oz in chat says, vote with your wallets. It's a scummy business model, especially for ports of old-ass games.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, I love Nintendo, and I love Skyward. I really love Skyward Sword. But in like that quality of life would have been a huge thing as well. It's not a small thing. It would save a lot of time, and it's a really good thing to add. So I don't know why. And it would be really good. It would have been a good way to get people on board as well, because this is not a game that's traditionally loved by Zelda fans as well.
Yeah, like two things for me as well. One, they would have had so much love from fans, and like, look what we've done to improve this game. They're like, oh my god, thank you so much, make this so much more accessible for 2021. And two, those models would have sold out anyway.
Yeah, they would have.
Like the fact that it's not just a digital microtransaction that anyone can get, but it's locked to a physical item that they're only going to make so many of.
Yeah.
Means that only so many people are going to get this anyway.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong as well, like, it's not something that's gonna, it's not gonna change the game in such a way that it'll almost break the game, like, oh my god, it's a must-play experience because of it. It just helps. And it's like you say, it's different when it's like, it helps, but it's not necessary. It helps, and it's kind of, it isn't necessary, but it does really help. It really helps you get around, because it takes a while to get around the map and get it from here to there. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how I guess I know how I feel about it now, and I guess I'm not really cool with it, but yeah. And I also think as well, Nintendo kind of gets away with stuff like this way more than, like, if EA had done this, you'd be like, oh, classic EA, but Nintendo do it, and a lot of people are defending them. It's like, you shouldn't do that just because they're Nintendo and we love them. When they make shitty business decisions, we should be able to go,
which is a lot,
which is often, let's be honest. Yeah, but yeah, that's my rant. That's my rant on Skyward Sword and Nintendo, and I'll save my Nintendo rant for another year now. I've only got one in me. I haven't got that many.
If Daf Weeks was here with his little notebook, you'd have gone, right, Johnny's rant. Tick that off. That's happened.
Yeah, Nintendo. He's also mentioned that. I was so close to mentioning Breath of the Wild as well. It was so close.
You just did.
Oh, there we are.
No, you did. You mentioned.
I did mention it.
The
wolf thing. So I actually did. I got them all in. There we are. Perfect. Well, I can stop now. Should we stop the podcast? Nothing else I could do.
Wait, Game Pass.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to talk about now is, as well, this is actually doing Nintendo, and this is just something we're going to quickly brush over because we've been talking about Nintendo in general. And there's new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. I think it's 5 in total. It's just Caveman Ninja, Magical Drop 2, Spanky's Quest, and Super Baseball Simulator 1000 for the SNES. And then for the NES title, it's Ninja Jujumara-kun. I think that's how you pronounce it. But 5 extra games. The only thing that makes me sad is that there's a Fire Emblem game going to Japan. And that makes me really sad. But
the swines.
Yeah, but it's never released in. I don't think it's ever released in the West either. But at the same time, I'm just jealous. That's all. I just really want Fire Emblem. I want more Fire Emblem. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that really quickly. Now, there's something I really want to quickly talk about in general, and this is actually to do with Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, and something about Grand Theft Auto 3, which is really interesting as well. I'm going to tie this in with just. In data, okay, I'm going to throw data at you. Okay, so the expanded and enhanced versions of GTA 5 and GTA Online are arriving on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S on the 11th of November. So that's just something that a lot of people are aware of. That's it. That's fine. Apparently, though, they're actually doing something special for the 20th anniversary of GTA 3. Now, this is interesting because I think for a long time we've been assuming that GTA 6 is the next game they're going to throw out, but a real curveball would be if they've been remaking GTA 3 for the 20th anniversary. Like, that would be something that I don't think people would have expected. Maybe even in the GTA 5 engine, make GTA 3. That'd be really interesting if that's what they'd be doing. But yeah. That's not necessarily what I wanted to talk about. And again, this isn't something I want to talk about massively. It's just purely to do with sale numbers. And this is the crazy thing. Sales of GTA 5 has surpassed expectations. And to date, the title has sold more than 145 million units worldwide. For the full year, which is the last year, participation levels reached an all-time high from both new and returning players, and recurrent consumer spending grew 31%, achieving a new annual record. This game came out in 2013. This is mad. So Daniel Ahmad posted some figures on Twitter that'll make you realize why Rockstar are not going to walk away from using online, or even probably focus on games, making games as quickly as they used to, because they used to make them all the time. So GTA 5 launched in 2013, and I think it made $1.62 billion for that year. This last year, for a game that came out in 2013, they made just under $1 billion, which is insane. In fact, I got a little picture from it earlier. It's the second best year they've ever had, which is that seems ridiculous to me. But it all comes back to online, and they just throw money at you online. Oh, you actually played GTA 5 recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I replayed it for a second time, but I don't really like playing the online bit because I don't like playing with other people very much because you get a lot of dickheads.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Especially in a game like GTA.
Yeah. But I wonder, like, so this big sudden peak. So that's for what, the past year compared to like previous. I wonder whether that's got something to do with people being locked in their homes and feeling like they want to venture out.
I'm assuming. You'd have to assume that it is because of that. Because so many, like, Nintendo have done so well in the last year because of that as well. But like, it's just mad that even if you factor that in, like, it's the second best selling year for the game, and the profits they've made, it's just ridiculous.
One thing that's interesting about GTA 5 is that there are always sales, constantly sales.
Yeah.
And those sales tend to be the game plus these shark cards or like Megalodon cards that give you an X amount of money in the online game.
Yeah.
And usually the game plus that card is cheaper than just buying that card on its own.
Yeah.
So people are buying multiple copies of the game, like hard copies, just to get those cards.
I guess that is,
which, I mean, because you say it sold 140 million copies. I hard to believe there's 140 million players.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Like when you hear of Minecraft selling like 200 million, you kind of think, that's probably 200 million people playing Minecraft, or at least have played.
Yeah.
Like that one copy. Whereas with GTA 5, it's kind of like, and there's loads of people I know who haven't played it. Like, I know loads of like Zach. I don't think Dav, I don't think you played it. Did you?
I have played it. Yeah.
Oh, you have played it. Okay. I know. Zach. It's definitely not a game that Zach plays.
Yeah, I did very little on the online. Like you, Hoi, I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, right, I'm going to do this mission, and just see people like blowing up your car, and you're like,
and
I could just be playing the single player right now.
You couldn't walk around at all because people would just be shooting. I know you can do that thing where you're protected and stuff, but it's just I couldn't be bothered for the hassle.
Yeah, and then there was one mission in the single player which made me stop playing as well. It's the one where you're getting tortured, or you have to torture someone to get information.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that.
I was like, no, this is too much for me. It's too real. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable.
Especially because afterwards he's just like, oh yeah, torture doesn't work. They just use it because, I can't remember what they say. Something like, they're just like, it doesn't work though. They just use it because dominance and whatever. It's just like, wow. It was one hell of a statement. I remember how controversial that was.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think this says a lot about me because people always talk about that, and I'm like, what controversial scene? I just played it.
God, yeah. Trevor was... he was a wild one. Weirdly, that's not the scene I remember Trevor for. The scene I remember Trevor for is when he goes to stay with his cousin, I think. Oh no, his friend's cousin, and he's living with his cousin's wife or something like that, and then he just ends up murdering them both, and it's just crazy. It's just absolutely bonkers. But yeah, right, let's move on. Let's move away from GTA. I want to talk about something which I'm really, really happy about, and I hope you two are happy about it as well. I don't know if you've... Dav, I think you played this game, or at least the series. So publisher Deep Silver has announced the return of Free Radical Design, which will be responsible for reviving the much-loved Time Splitters IP. The developer will be made up of key members of the original Free Radical team, including the founders of former Rareware employers Steve Ellis and David Doak. To finally be able to confirm that the studio has been formed and that we have a plan for the next Time Splitters game is incredible. While we cannot tell you anything more at the moment, we look forward to sharing information in the future. That was from their Twitter page. I'm so excited for this because, Hoi, did you ever play Time Splitters?
I don't know what you're on about.
Okay. So basically, Time Splitters is like most of the team that created GoldenEye. And then they create they started making this game, like this time traveling games, and they were so good. I loved Time Splitters 2. It was one of my favorite games actually as a kid, and I'm really excited. I hope they're able to, because it was kind of, the thing I liked about it the most was it was kind of like it was kind of silly as well.
It was silly, yeah. Like one of the characters was a little monkey.
Yeah, exactly.
My worry is that when you pick up an old IP with a lot of sort of cult following, but known for its couch multiplayer, I think this game is possibly going to be multiplayer only.
Oh,
and if it does have a campaign, I think it'll be one of those like campaigns where it's like you're just doing multiplayer stuff but on your own with bots.
That would be sad.
I really think that's where this game might be going. I think the sooner we find out any information, the less happy you're going to end up being about it. If we don't hear anything for 2 years, and then they're like, "Oh, here's a little glimpse," you're like, "Okay, maybe they've got something here."
Yeah.
But it might just be making a multiplayer game.
Oh, that would really upset me, because as we've just discussed, I don't play multiplayer games I don't play them online, at least not on my own. Apart from Mario Kart, but that's the only one I'll play.
It's just so good at it.
No, but it's also because you can't hear anyone, so you can't talk to anyone. The beauty of
hear them scream.
Nintend's beautiful, terrible connection and internet, whatever you. But yeah, I am really excited. I hope we hear more. But yeah, let's move on. We've got a couple more topics left. I'm not going to talk about this one too much. I'm just going to say that Summer Games Fest is coming back starting Thursday, June the 10th. There's a lot of people a lot of companies, I should say, who are involved. Pretty much, I'm looking at them now. There's a load, and the only one that stands out is just Nintendo, basically. It's like 2K,
EA.
Activision. Is he? I think EA's there. So 2K, Activision, Amazon Games, Bandai Namco, Blizzard, Capcom, Devolver Digital, Electronic Arts, Epic Games. I'm not going to keep going, though. There's so many. PlayStation's there, Xbox is there, Warner Bros. Is there, Tencent is there, Ubisoft is there, the only Square Enix and Sega, like all of the big companies apart from Nintendo. But they have said there's more that's going to be announced soon. But then I still doubt that Nintendo are going to do it, because I don't think they did it last year. Don't think they did.
That's a good question. No, but then Summer Games Fest is a weird thing. Basically, it's like a framing device for all the different events.
Yeah.
So basically, the events will happen on their own things, but then Jeff Keighley will do a like pre-show, post-show thing.
Yeah.
As Summer Games Fest. But we'll also get his own scoops. Like he got the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
That was probably the best one, I'd say. Or a Crash as well.
Crash 4 was good as well. But then a lot of things would be like, oh, well, okay, well, Microsoft are doing an event.
Yeah.
Not technically a Summer Games Fest, but you can watch it on the Summer Games Fest YouTube, and we'll be doing our own pre-show. So
just Jeff. Jeff being Jeff.
Jeff is Jeff.
So this is the final story for me. So Daf, if you want to add anything, because I think you said you had another story on top of this, and I doubt it's going to be the same one. So this is just basically saying to anyone that's played it or wants to play it, The Last of Us Part 2 has got a PS5 performance patch targeting 60 frames per second. It includes enhanced resolution and faster load times. My game is currently packed away right now, so I can't get it. So I can't even see what it looks like. But there's a part of me that kind of wishes that I'd waited, because not in a bad way, because I loved that game was great and I really loved it, but I would love to play that game in 60 frames per second, like just from the start, because the game felt really smooth anyway. I think it was locked 30, but like at 60, I just can't imagine how beautiful that game would have looked. But yeah,
I've got it on my PS5, and I'm so happy they announced this patch, because then I get to play it for the first time in looking all glorious.
That's wicked, because it's a beautiful looking game. It's a terribly sad game, but it's a beautiful looking game. Dab, did you have I think you said Game Pass. There was a couple of. Was there a Game Pass story you had, or is that it?
I don't think so, but one thing, and I'm not sure we covered it on the podcast. It's the last week or two ago, maybe. But Rockstar accidentally released all of their back catalog on Steam.
Oh, I think I read that.
And then unreleased it all really quickly. And it included lots of GTA stuff.
Right.
So I'm wondering maybe that's going to be related to this 20th anniversary of GTA 3.
That could be. I would
PC releases of old GTAs and stuff.
I would honestly just take GTA, because GTA 4 isn't on the PlayStation Store, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. There's a couple but I've said this before. There's a couple of like PS3 era games which is just not on the PlayStation 4 or the PS5 store, and I don't understand why. Like the Metal Gear Solid games, they're not on there. It's so weird. I'm not going to talk about Metal Gear Solid. I've spoken many times about how much I want to play those games. Let's move on to games we've actually been playing. Dav, did you want to go first? Or Hoi, did you want to go first? Did you want to talk about something?
Go on, Hoi.
Playing?
I've been playing Hitman 2, actually.
Yeah.
We like Hitman.
So the reason I jumped straight to Hitman 2 is because we have Hitman 1, but it's like a digital download and it's not working for some reason. Like it's saying go to the PlayStation store because it's not installed, and I go there and it's like it's installed. So I don't know. I'll sort that out at some point. So I jumped straight to Hitman 2.
Nice. Which is your favorite level? Just very quickly, which is your favorite one?
Oh, definitely is it Miami? The racing car one?
Yeah, the racing car.
Oh, I love that.
So good.
Yeah, and they started with that one as well, and I feel like the subsequent levels didn't quite, meet how I felt about that one.
Is it? No, I don't think. I'm thinking of that from the first game. I've literally.
Hokkaido.
No, I'm not thinking. No, Hokkaido, I love. It's the Colorado, which I hate.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, yeah, that's
Colorado,
Hitman 1. So
Colorado,
I've not played Hitman 2,
yeah.
but oh my gosh, Colorado.
But yeah.
Sorry, Hoi.
Yeah, and so I find the games that I tend to like for example, with when we talked about Last of Us 2, I'm the type of player who likes to really take my time and really hold on to my resources. And it's really frustrating when Dav is watching me because he just wants to go in, proper action and everything. But that's just what works better for me. And same with like Assassin's Creed, that stealthiness. So Hitman is definitely my type of game. So I finished it all really quickly, but then obviously the whole point is you're meant to play the missions again and play all the different stories and stuff. So I don't know if I'll do that for all of the levels, but I'll definitely do it for the ones I preferred.
I'm just trying to think of all the levels because I had a hit. I don't know if you know, but I played all of the Hitman games recently, and I've been loving them so much. Like I across all 3 games, I put like maybe over 100 hours into all 3 of them, and I was just consumed by it for about 3 months. I'm trying to think of the Hitman 2 levels though, because they're all like in my head now. They're all like part of the same thing. I'm trying to think of like your favorite. What?
So after Miami, you're in Colombia with the drug lords and stuff, and then
I wasn't a massive fan of that level.
Yeah, same. Mumbai in India, that was a level, wasn't it?
That was a level. That's a cool level.
There's a one where you're in like an American suburb where you're.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a one where it's like you're in a cult and everyone's wearing masks.
Oh, that's the last level.
Yeah. Might have missed one.
I think there is one more, but see, it's weird because like there's a couple of levels that I started playing that I didn't like to start off with, and then completely flipped when I realized, oh, you can do this thing. Like Mumbai is one of those. There's a really cool thing you can do in that level, which I won't say because obviously Dav hasn't played. But yeah, I love them. Are you good? Do you reckon you're gonna play 3?
Yeah, definitely. Haven't got it yet, but yeah, I'd love to.
By the way, for Hitman 1, I don't know. It's a little bit complicated as to how you can do it, but if you have Hitman 1, you can download it as legacy content in Hitman 2, which is actually how I played Hitman 1. So it plays it, but it's like better graphics and like runs better. You're playing it in Hitman 2, but you're playing Hitman 1 stuff.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
It is tricky because when I try to download, so I played Hitman 1 and 2. And when I bought 3, I had to like go on their website to download my save states from 2 and 1. So it's like really complicated. So you might have to look up about how to do it. It might be easier than that, but I know
it took me like half an hour, and it's like, which is too long.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Too long.
Like I'm playing I'm playing Mass Effect now, and I'm not talking about this now. I'm talking about like when it first came out, and the save data transfer literally took like 2 seconds from like 1 to 2. So I don't know why it's taking so long with Hitman, but. Definitely, you should be able to though. There definitely should be a way. But yeah. Anything else, Hoi? Anything else? Want to talk about Hitman? Any
I've been playing a lot of smaller indie games. I feel like I'm enjoying the cutesy, relaxing, calming games. So I played Gris recently.
Nice.
Oh, it's the only game that's ever made me cry.
It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
It's like you're playing poetry or like a piece of art, and I just love how it flows. And when you think of puzzle games, you literally think of like a jigsaw puzzle or something, but I think puzzle games are really different now. So Gris I absolutely loved. Unravel, which I think is on Game Pass now.
It's a fun game.
So lovely, really nice.
Spiritfarer. Before we get on to Spiritfarer, because I adore that game. Are you going to play Unravel 2 with Dav?
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Couch co-op, and that's on Game Pass as well.
Someone's mentioned Shaun the Sheep. Is that the Farmageddon game? Yeah, I've played that too.
Sorry, Spiritfarer.
Oh yeah. It's very I get a big kick out of it's kind of like a resource management game, but it's like really satisfying, kind of like how you progress to like get things. And yeah, again, it's like it's a lovely calming game.
Yeah, and the characters are really nice as well.
Yeah, and I love when you give them a hug.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet.
It's like part of the resource management is giving all the characters a hug.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got to boost morale. Oh, well, give them a hug, and then you cook them all like the food that they like, and it's just like, oh, no, it's really nice game. That was my second favorite game of 2020.
God, I remember you talking about that, saying how much you loved it as well. That's awesome. Anything else, Hoi? I also really appreciate how you've gone from being a murderer to like hugging people within 2 games. Like that's often amazing.
It's because I hug them and then I can stab them in the back.
I haven't played Spiritfarer, but Dav said previously how amazing it is. So I definitely should check it out at some point.
There's co-op as well for Spiritfarer.
Is it really?
Oh,
maybe. I think I'll have to look into this now. Definitely because for Rosie. Like that definitely sounds like a Rosie friendly game. Awesome. Dav, did you want to talk about anything? Because I'm just gonna throw information at you with Mass Effect because I've just completed the first one.
Oh wow, okay. I won't talk too long because I've not finished anything too recently that I haven't already spoken about, but I'm making my way through Psychonauts. Thank you for the follow, by the way,
nice.
Making my way through Psychonauts at the moment. They've just put the first one out on Game Pass and
Tick.
yeah, so I've been streaming that as well as Pokemon Trading Card Game. And really it's aged quite well. There are some things I have issues with, but yeah, it's I won't talk too much about it, but there are some really good vibes in that game.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely worth checking out. If you have Game Pass, it's obviously free in inverted commas. It's definitely worth checking out to see if you like it or not. But it's a bit divisive. And I know it's got a massive cult following, but I'm hoping Psychonauts 2 gets announced for release this year. So I thought, right, crack on, get on with Psychonauts 1.
Hasn't there just been a release like 2 days yesterday or something like that for Psychonauts 2?
Oh,
I'm fairly
no. Oh, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen it.
I'm fairly sure there has. I could be talking absolute nonsense, but because it rings a bell. Like I think I've seen it on Twitter because I don't really know the game, so for some reason that I saw Psychonauts 2, I could be talking absolute bollocks.
Ooh,
but
I'll look into it after the podcast.
Definitely look into it.
But yeah, Psychonauts 1, I'm having fun with it. It's testing my patience every now and then. But it's showing a bit of its age. But 2005 it came out. But I'm enjoying it. Not bad.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
I'm going to try and keep this as quickly as possible because I could literally have a whole hour to myself, talking to myself about Mass Effect 1. But I bought the Legendary Edition last week, and I've been playing. I say I've been playing it. I actually finished Mass Effect 1 last night, and I always know that the game I'm playing has a good story because Rosie dips in and out and she asks me questions. So like when she was like hooked within the first day, and it's interesting because I've just started Mass Effect 2 and you realize just how different 1 and 2 are in styles. Like the first one is an RPG. Like you have resources to manage. You have you get different armors and guns and all these things. Whereas 2 kind of feels like a Gears of War type game, especially in the way that like you hide behind things, peer over, and shoot. It's very different. But I'm not going to talk about Mass Effect 2 because I am really enjoying that, but I haven't finished it. I'm going to talk about Mass Effect 1, and it's really interesting because that game came out in 2007.
Is this the Legendary Edition, by the way?
This is the Legendary Edition version. So the things they've improved are like if anyone said to me, I want to go back and play Mass Effect 1, I would tell them every time to buy the Legendary Edition because the things they improve almost make the original game like pointless playing because they improve the controls are improved, like the I think it's the Mako car. I can't remember.
Yeah, the Mako.
The Mako. Because the thing is, I've heard people saying Mako and Mako. I'm like, I don't know what it's called. It's one of those words.
I think either. Whatever you want.
Well, yeah, exactly. Whatever I want. I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the Mako. Let's go with that. Okay. Is Mass Effect scary? No, not at all. It's not scary at all. It's like a beautiful space opera. But honestly, the thing is that it's so weird because so much of that game is just the best parts of that game are the reasons why I love video games, and that is like story, like the theming and the setting. Like it's sometimes weird for me, like when I play games now where I don't get like, I love the story and I love like the way it plays, but then I'm not really drawn into the world. Whereas with Mass Effect, it's so weird because there's worlds, plural. There's many of them. Like, you know what I mean? It's you don't get just drawn into like this one place, even though the Citadel is amazing and I love it. But and don't get me wrong, it's aged in many ways. There are so many things it's aged not so great, and it's a game that came out in 2007, so I'll let it off. But honestly, I gotta turn this off because that's gonna come up in the sound. Sorry, my WhatsApp was on. And honestly, like the story is incredible. It's weird because I don't think I've played it since like 2010. So it's been over 10 years since I played it. So there's a lot of things that I actually can't remember. I'm like playing through it again, and I'm just going, man, there's so many things that it deals with, and I just didn't really recognize it at the time. So a lot of it like in the game itself, it actually deals a lot of like with like racism between like species. So like there's a human character who genuinely just hates all aliens, like just hates them all, and she's in your crew, and it's so weird because like you try to understand her position, and then she tries to present her position, but you're like, but still there's no reason for you to be like, there's no reason for you to hate all these people. And what was really beautiful actually is, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the start of Mass Effect 2, but something happens at the start of Mass Effect 2, and one of the characters from the first game, it's not really much of a spoiler, but one of the characters from the first game dies. And it's not a massive spoiler, because he's a side character that you maybe speak to a couple of times in the game. But like he also like hates aliens, and then you find his like remains in the second game, and you find his data pad, and you see that like over the course of his data entries, you see how hostile he was, and at the end he's like, no, I understand, and like my views are different, and I just find that like that there was so many moments I had in Mass Effect 1, and again I only played it for a week, and there was just a genuinely beautiful writing and genuinely beautiful story, and yeah, honestly God, I'm so drawn in. I'm down for the ride. I'm already back into Mass Effect 2. I'm going to keep going into 3. It's probably going to take me about 100 hours, but I'm just so excited. I'm going to stop talking about Mass Effect because I will be continually talking about Mass Effect for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm going to stop there. But
so we've had the Hitman season.
Yeah.
This is now Mass Effect season.
Well, Mass Effect season probably going to take less time, even though I'm going to play it longer, if that makes sense. Because I probably spent about 8 hours playing it on Sunday, which I'd never do with Hitman. I could probably play it for about 2 hours, but 8 hours just sat there going, just playing Mass Effect. I have no other games to add other than I love Mass Effect. I hate the Mako levels where you've got to use the Mako. Even if it is good, the levels are still crap. But still, I love that game. Anyway, let's go on to the quiz. This is the reason why we're all here, right? This is what we come for. If anyone is playing the quiz in the chat, I know Quentin's here. If you want to play the quiz, then just let me know. I'll give you about 20 seconds and we'll get started.
Let us know if you want to be in the quiz.
And Dav. I imagine Quentin is going to be there.
Have you ever played along with the quiz?
Yeah, I'll be lucky if I get one. It's like university challenge.
Got Big Al.
Big Al's going to guess.
I think Big Al, you've not got ACP. Time to reclaim my title, says Aplatas. I think
Big Al's going solo for this one.
Yeah, going solo for this one. We've got 2 people in the chat. That's great. Let's have a go at the quiz. All right. Question number 1. Which video game character was the first to get an iconic balloon at New York's world famous Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade? Is it ACP's here? She is there. So you can Big Al can work with ACP. Is it Mario, Pac-Man, or Sonic? Which video game character was the first to get an iconic balloon at New York's world-famous Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade? Mario, Pac-Man, or Sonic?
Can I ask what year it was?
Yeah, I'll give you the year. I think the year was 1992.
Interesting.
92. Mario, Pac-Man, or Sonic?
Am I meant to type this in?
You can. Well, actually, because I know you're on your phone.
Yeah, there's no need anymore, is there?
Yeah, there's no need. So if you guys just shout out on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. What are you guys going with?
B. Pac-Man.
Dav's going with B. Hoi, what did you say?
Sonic.
Sonic.
Yeah, I think maybe Sonic because of that year, 92.
The
makes more
answer
sense.
is Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer was Sonic. ACP, you and Big Al said the same one. You both had C. So I'm going to put you both together, but let me know if you are working separately. But currently, you both have the same point. Everyone gets a point, sadly, apart from Dav. It is Sonic. I'm sorry, Dav. I'm sorry. Question number 2. Which is the best...
It's a laugh I didn't like. It's a laugh.
It's because you are like the quiz master. It's you have...
So who's told you that?
You have the most quiz wins on my screen. You have the most quiz wins. Which of these is the best-selling game on the PS2? Is it Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Gran Turismo 3, or Metal Gear Solid 2?
Okay.
Hoi is a secret video game balloon historian. She's hustling you guys.
It's all about the video game balloons. All right.
Okay. So is it A, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, B, Gran Turismo 3, or C, Metal Gear Solid 2? Give me your answers in the chat. You two can go whenever you want. Dav, what are you going to go with?
1, 2, 3. GTA San Andreas.
Hoi,
I also say Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay. Quentin says San Andreas. Okay, yeah, just a few San Andreas. I think one.
If it's Gran Turismo, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, the answer, Dav, you'd be saddened to know, is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Good.
Yeah, the answer is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I've got some numbers. Let me throw some numbers at you. It's actually the top 4 are either Grand Theft Auto or Gran Turismo. It's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in first place with 17 million, which is not that much for a console that sold 140 million.
DVD player.
That's what it is. Gran Turismo 3A spec got 14.89. Gran Turismo 4 got 11.76. And Grand Theft Auto Vice City got just under 10 million. And in fifth place...
how well Gran Turismo did.
Yeah. Final Fantasy X was cracked the top 5, which I was very shocked with. 8.5.
Wow.
Let's move on to question number 3. This is, don't quote me on it, which video game does this famous quote come from? Wanting something...
Famous in inverted commas, by the way, folks.
Wanting something does not give you the right to have it. Is it Assassin's Creed 2, God of War, or The Last of Us?
I think I know this one.
Wanting something does not give you the right to have it. Assassin's Creed 2, God of War, or The Last of Us?
I think I know this one because it's what I thought of. Well, the franchise is what I thought of before you said the answers.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'll be upset.
Okay.
But I'm always upset when I'm wrong.
Aptas gone A. Anyone else? ACP, what are you going with? I'm Big Al. What are you two going with? Dav, Hoi, go whenever you're ready. 3, 2, 1. Let me know what you got.
God of War.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Dav went with Assassin's Creed 2. Hoi went with God of War. Big Al saying C. No. Yeah, great. The answer, I think I've got all my answers in. The answer is Assassin's Creed 2. Dav, yes. Do you know who said it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Say it again.
Wanting something does not give you the right to have it.
Is it Da Vinci?
It's Ezio.
Ah.
Ezio himself. Okay, question number 4. I did kind of go on a GTA kind of theme because I was reading about it. So this is just how many games are in the GTA series. So this is the main series, not the expansion titles or the handheld games, just the main series. Okay.
When you say expansion title, do you mean Vice City or do you mean Ballad of Gay Tony?
So Ballad of Gay Tony. So
right.
Ballad of Gay Tony. So
Vice City counts.
Vice City counts. Yeah. Vice City counts. How many titles is it? 5, 6, or 7?
Okay.
Okay. Everyone have answers? 5, 6, or 7? How many games are in the main series of the GTA series? I should say. 5, 6, or 7. Hoi, what are you going to go with?
6.
Dav?
7.
What are we going with in the chat? What are you guys going with? Ezio. Big Al saying 7. ACP's also going with 7. We just need Apple we need Quentin. Quentin, where you at, buddy? I'll reveal all of them, by the way.
I would have said 8 if that was an option.
The answer, everyone, is 7. So we got... Actually, Dav, you said 7. Can you guess which ones they are?
Grand Theft Auto?
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 2 London?
So
or is it just Grand Theft Auto 2?
Just 2. So London was a side game.
Okay.
But there was a Grand Theft Auto 2 anyway, so you're right.
GTA 3,
Yep.
GTA Vice City,
Yep.
GTA San Andreas,
Yep.
GTA 4, GTA 5.
Yeah. What a weird...
I would have thrown in GTA Chinatown Wars.
Yeah, so that's a handheld. Is it handheld? I think
Yeah,
so.
it is.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, none of the. I think yeah. Even though apparently that game was okay.
Apparently, it's really good for a DS game, and like apparently there's a mini game in it when you hotwire a car, you use the stylus.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I quite like that. Okay, question number 5. Here we go. Which driving game had presidential campaign ads for Barack Obama in 2008? Is it Burnout Paradise, Midnight Club Los Angeles, or Need for Speed Pro Street?
Wow.
Which driving game had presidential campaign ads for Barack Obama in 2008? Is it Burnout Paradise, Midnight Club Los Angeles, or Need for Speed Pro Street?
Who would do that?
It's Big Al's going with Midnight Club Los Angeles. Talk about being political. I know.
Take these politics out of my games. In fairness, that's a weird one. That's the first one where I'm like, maybe take those politics out of that game.
It was, yeah, it's a straight, like when I read it, I was like, really? That's a strange one. Okay, so Big Al and ACP went B, Aptas went with A. Hoi, what are you going to go with?
Complete guess, Need for Speed.
Yeah, I'm going for Need for Speed as well.
Okay, the answer
is it Burnout?
is Burnout Paradise. Yeah, so on the bill, one of the billboards in this game sees Obama's Vote for Change campaign sign. So they paid for it to be them. So yeah. Okay, question number 6. Play that kazoo. I'm gonna get my kazoo out. Okay. I don't give options here, but I will give help if needs be. Here we go.
Taking that kazoo shot.
Oh, that was so low. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that because I can keep going otherwise. Hoi, do you need any assistance?
I don't think you can assist me in this one.
Okay.
Because you know it.
Yeah, I know it so well. I know it so well.
I'm actually torn between 2 very different games.
And
it makes me realize how similar those 2 tunes are.
I tried to do a specific one, and if you... Yeah. So we go with Big Al / ACP. Which one of you is going to pick? Appletas has picked. All right. Hoi, do you have an answer?
I really don't. I don't recognize it. I'm terrible at even like recognizing songs that I know.
Do you want to throw out a guess?
Wait, should I tell you the 2 that I think I'm torn between, and you can choose one of those?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's either Final Fantasy IX or Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ooh. There we are. Big Al.
You pick one, I'll go with the other one. So I have no idea.
Okay, I'll go for Final Fantasy. Was it 9?
Yeah,
9,
and I'll go Sonic the Hedgehog.
The Hedgehog. The answer is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ah, sorry, Hoi.
It's Green Hill Zone.
Took one for you.
Green Hill Zone. All right. Question number 7. How long does it take to fully complete Super Mario World? 10, 11, or 12 hours?
A full completionist.
Completionist, yeah. 10, 11, or 12 hours. When you see that, I'm looking at the numbers. Completionist, 10, 11, or 12 hours. Really does make you think, like, how different games are now compared to, like, 30 years ago.
I look up a game, I'm like, oh, that game's on sale. It's really cheap. How long is it? 120 hours? No.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm not doing it.
That's why I'm so tentative about starting Persona. I really want to play it. It sounds like a game that is exactly
100
what
hours.
I like. But I like 100 hours for a game that I may or may not like is ugh. Right, so we got a couple of 11s. What was the game? Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. I'm going for what was it? 10, 11, or 12?
12. How are we going to go?
I'm going 11.
Dav's going to go 11.
I'll go for 12.
12. Couple of 11s, couple of 12s. Okay, I'm just gonna... Quentin, do you have an answer? Alright, I'm just gonna have to throw it out there and hopefully you get there in time. ABC 11, okay. The answer is 10. It's 10. Do you want to know how long it actually takes to just beat the game?
2.
5. Just 5 hours. 5 measly hours. Okay, name that badly described game. This is question number 8. Tradesman decides to become a doctor, but can't stop playing with these falling capsules.
Good.
Tradesman decides to become a doctor, but can't stop playing with these falling capsules. Anyone in the chat? You go first. Because I think
I know this one.
I think Dav might know. Hoi, do you have an answer, Hoi?
Dr. Mario.
Dav?
Dr. Mario.
I'm fairly certain most people are going to be able to get this one.
That was too easy, Johnny. Usually they're too hard.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to balance I was really trying to balance it, and I think I just.
Hey, we might be wrong. Eh?
I mean, it's actually Star Fox 64. No, I mean that would be amazing. That would be amazing, but it's
or Dinosaur Island.
Dinosaur Island, yeah. There we go. Right. The answer was, of course, Dr. Mario.
Give everyone the point for that one.
Yeah, I'm just giving everyone the point for that one. All right. Question number 9. Minecraft's overworld surface area is how many million times larger than Earth's? This is going to be rounded to the nearest million, so either up or down. Is it 8, 9, or 10?
Wait, say that again.
Minecraft's overworld surface area is how many million times larger than Earth's?
That's mad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Is it 8, 9, or 10? Pick pickers. 1 billion.
I'm going to say 8 million.
How are we going to go with?
I'll go for 10.
Okay. We're going with Big Al. Hey! Yay! Big Al's gone with 8. ACP's gone with 9. Just waiting for Quentin. Dr. Donkey Kong. Apple's gone with 9 as well. The answer is 9. So Minecraft survivalist creative game has a large surface area that is 9 million times larger than the Earth, which is bonkers. All right, we're on the final question. This is it. This is the final question. Let me get my wheel out. My clickety-clacker.
You got a section for Hoi?
I don't, because I didn't actually know if Hoi... But then Daf Weeks is on here, so I figure... Maybe she might know. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming that.
You and Dav have played the exact same games, right?
All right, here we go. Wheel of Misfortune. I'm going to spin the wheel. It is.
Can't see it.
Is it Dav Weeks' question?
Ooh.
Okay. What is the name of the mustached captain of the SS Drake in Pikmin 3?
Oh my god.
Is it Charlie, Flynn, or Ollie? What is the name of the mustached captain of the SS Drake in Pikmin 3? Is it...
I really regret not watching him play it now.
He loved it as well. He was raving about it on the pod. Is it Charlie, Flynn, or Ollie? ACP's gone with a rigged. We get that accusation every week.
Well, Big Al's played this game.
Ooh, really?
Big Al's played this game and I haven't.
Flynn is a nice name. It is a nice name.
Same again.
Sorry, I've just skipped the wrong one. What is the name of the mustached captain of the SS Drake in Pikmin 3? Is it Charlie, Flynn, or Ollie?
I'm going to say Flynn. I don't think it would be Ollie. And I don't think it would be Charlie.
That kind of rules them out. Hoi, do you have an answer?
I was going to say Ollie.
Ollie. Yeah, cool.
Unless it's like an older version of Olimar from Pikmin 1 and 2, and now he's got a mustache.
Olimar, yeah. Ollie, it could be like Ollie Mers as well.
I'm gonna say it's either Ollie Mers or Flynn. I'm gonna say Flynn.
Ollie Mers or Flynn. Okay. Everyone has answered, so I've got all my answers. And the answer is Charlie.
Oh.
So just throw it out there. Flynn and Ollie are my nephews. I just threw them in there because it sounds like Charlie. It feels like that same vibe of a name. There is a runaway leader today. Apatas got 9. Now, Big Al, ACP, you came in second with 6. 6 for Big Al and ACP, which I'm actually very, very proud of them. 6.
Right, next week's podcast is Big Al, Hoi, and Rosie, and Bronwyn.
Then we have Dav on 5 and Hoi has 2. But I actually really, really enjoyed that. Big Al, ACP, Apatas as well. You reigning champion again. But that is the end of podcast number 55. Thank you very much for listening today. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Tell your friends and give us a review or a comment, because that'd be lovely. And if you'd like to support us, then please check out our Patreon page. Like I said, we're going to be adding Hall of Fame episodes soon. There should be another 2 going on over the next month. We just need a chance to settle down. We need a chance to settle down. And if you can't contribute to the Patreon page, then that's absolutely fine. Some of the old Hall of Fame episodes are on YouTube, so check those out as well. We are affiliated with Greenman Gaming, so make sure you check the link in the description. It's down there somewhere. And if you have any gaming needs, then check them out. We're all streaming. But not at the moment. Only Dav is really streaming at the moment. So make sure you check out DavEG, because he's doing, like you said, some lovely Pokemon stuff, which is great.
I'm doing a 24-hour stream next week.
Oh, really? Which day?
I think it's going to be Wednesday to Thursday.
There we are. So make sure you check out Dav on his Wednesday to Thursday 24-hour stream. That is wicked. And check out our Discord page as well. It's in the link. Again, just all down there. Hoi, it was awesome having you on. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Seriously, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you to everyone watching and playing along with the quiz. And DavEG, it's always beautiful to see you as well. You're a beautiful man. We are Video Games Ahoy, and we'll see you next week. Ahoy!
Tatty bye!